live, y'all. Live, y'all. All right. Dun dilly, dun 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 dun. Y'all hear all that going on in the background. Okay. Several things that are going to take place this morning. Real quick housekeeping. Go ahead and gather note-taking materials. If you are live or on the replay, you will additionally need a second device just to follow along with 74 Principles of Real Leadership. We are coming around third on these. We're in the K section. Go to theturnarounddoctor.com. Select the 74 Principles of Real Leadership tab. Scroll down all the way to the knowledgeable section, and we are on focus on the results. That being said, let's go ahead and inhale and exhale on our own. 3 deep breaths just to get the brain ready. Let the brain know we're getting ready to do this. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today we will be discussing the principle of real leadership, focus on the results. Now, before we get into that, how did we get here? Neurogenesis. That's the firing or the striking of neurons going pop, 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 connecting with each other. That's neurogenesis. Then through neuroplasticity, there's what's called 2 neurons coming together, synapse. Create neural pathways. With that, that's why the brain is being referred to as being plastic, because it's malleable. You have the ability to wire new neural pathways in your amazing brain. Number 3 is neuropability. And what is that? That is the ability for your brain to wire itself using the 74 principles of real leadership and the theory of personal accountability for you to hold yourself personally accountable day in and day out. Now, how does this all take place, or where it takes place? In the frontal lobe. And we in particular use the executive function of the brain, which is commonly referred to as the CEO of the brain. So without further ado, let's use your brain today. And give me one moment. Let me turn this down. Okay. I think I'm on mute. All right. So focus on the results. I have gone over the 74 principles of real leadership and given an overview, and now I've gone back and defined each and every one of them. And as I mentioned, we are in the knowledge section, focus on the results. So we are coming around third. And what I've done is I am taking each word, the definition. Good morning, Lola. Each definition of the word to explain that to you so that you can understand it in all of its totality, so that you can use it and apply it to create those neural pathways and strengthen those neural pathways. Focus on the results. So the definition of focus is pay particular attention to. Pay particular attention to. Then on. The definition of on is used as a function word to indicate the location of something. Used as a function word to indicate the location of something. The, or it's not the, it's the. Used to point forward to a following qualifying or defining clause or phrase. So we're going to point forward to a qualifying or defining clause or phrase. So focus on, the next word coming after that is results. It is a desirable or beneficial outcome or goal. A desirable or beneficial outcome or goal. And the more intricate definition of focus on the results, when you put all of that together, here is what you have. It is to concentrate attention, energy, and efforts on achieving specific outcomes or goals rather than getting distracted by the process, your feelings, or obstacles. I'm going to say that again. You're going to concentrate your attention, energy, and efforts on achieving specific outcomes or goals rather than getting distracted by the process, feelings, or obstacles. Additionally, it emphasizes measuring success based on tangible achievements and performance rather than just activity or intention. So, what does that mean? That means, let's say, for example, I am now currently studying neuroscience. I have to focus on the results because neuroscience is hard as hell. Okay. You know, how many times are you at a networking event, just random networking event, and you say, hey, what do you do for a living? And they say, I'm a neuroscientist. Like, no, that's not. You actually have to be at a convention or a neuroscience event in order to run into them. Because I haven't run into a neuroscientist yet, and I have been a lot of places. And so this new thing that I have taken upon is hard as hell. Hard as hell. Yes, hard as hell. And so as a result, I had to go back. When I started the class, I was like, man, I went back to CAS when I thought I was smart. And then I went to school with 4,000 smart kids. And I was like, ooh. And then I had to go back because we're going to be doing some math. I had to go back with the only withdrawal on my college transcript in 10 years of going to school. I went back to calculus 2 because they said we was going to do some math. And then they said biology. I went back to Miss Blake's biology class. So all this stuff from school came up. I was like, and now it's this industry that I'm not in. My background is public law and government, criminal justice, and organizational leadership. I was a military police officer. I worked in food and beverage at Frito-Lay. Nothing about my background says neuroscience. So I have to focus on the result. And what is the result? The result is understanding this amazing organ that we have that controls our entire body. And I got to learn how to use it so I can tell y'all how to use it, because everybody else that I'm coming in contact with, I don't have that information. So now I've had to go find classes specifically for what I need in order to tell you what you need so we can all succeed. And so I had to overcome just those minor little triggers, those minor little hijacked amygdalas from years and years and years ago. And oh, by the way, I haven't been in a college class since 2006. So I'm like, that was 19 years ago. Got to dust off everything and then be prepared. And now there are assignments due and all of that. So I have to focus on the results, because if I don't, I'm going to focus on doggone how hard neuroscience is and ain't going to get shit accomplished. So you fuck my feelings and everything else, the obstacles to learning, all that has to go away. And I got to focus on the main thing is the main thing. How the hell do you actually use your brain to become your best? Not a diseased brain, so we're trying to fix Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and all of that. No, not a mentally ill brain with ADHD and dyslexia and everything else. Good morning, Regina. How do you use this bad boy every single day? So I have to override all of that and focus on the result. There are 6.8 billion adults in the world being personally unaccountable. Yes, ma'am. Being personally unaccountable. And so as a result, I have to teach you how to be personally accountable. And now I know my research has led me to being, it is in the brain, it is neurological, and you all have to develop neural pathways. So now I have to study neurons and strike points and all these other things, synapses and everything else, because the brain is complicated. That's why there hasn't been a brain transplant. That's why there hasn't been a brain transplant. Kevin has asked, is anybody else hearing static? Okay, let me. Is it still static? We're good to go? Okay. Talk. Talk, talk, talk. Check, check. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ha ha. Dr. Donna in the place to be on this thing called the MIC. No, we know I can't rap. We're good now. My moving is causing it. if I sit still, so you're saying I got to do this in order, oh, this shit ain't gonna work. So if I move, they're static. Okay, let's try something. I'm gonna just move and not talk. And now I'm gonna move and talk. So I'm moving and talking. Is it there? Is it here? We're shaking the camera. Okay, got it. Okay, so let's move on. Hopefully you don't hear it again. Key elements. All right, so the key elements of focusing on the results when I'm just waving my hands is fine. Okay, got it. All right, so the key elements of focusing on the results. So I'm gonna do key elements, then why you can't focus, why it's hard to focus on results, and then I'm gonna tell you what you can do. So the key elements are these, and there are 4 of them. Goal-oriented, prioritizing end results over task. Prioritizing end results over tasks. So that means the main thing is the main thing. For me, teaching adults how to use their brain to hold themselves personally accountable is the end goal. So me checking things off the list, did I have notes and all of that doesn't matter because the goal is the goal. The main thing is the goal. Okay. Number 2 is outcome driven. So tracking progress through measurable outcomes. I say don't do anything without a strategy. Inside of your strategy, you need to have measurable outcomes so that you can decide and check to make sure to see if you are on task. So have measurable outcomes. Number 3 is be efficient. So when you are efficient, you're choosing actions that lead directly to desired results. Choosing actions that lead directly to desired results. So I'm not going to go to a beauty conference while I'm studying neuroscience because those actions are not going to lead to desired results. I do not have to know how to beat my face in order for me to sit in front of you daily to teach you how to use your brain. I'm not going to go and take Taekwondo back up again because that's not going to lead to my desired results. I'm not going to watch a bunch of reality TV because that's not going to lead to my desired results. So I have to be efficient and effective in the actions that I choose on a daily basis. And then number 4, you have to be accountable. So you have to take responsibility for what gets accomplished, not just what gets done. So you can have a very nice little cute checklist and all these things get done. But if I don't finish these courses and do the work to study the brain and be able to tell you how to use it, then I'm not accomplishing a damn thing. I'm just being extremely busy. So the key elements again are goal-oriented, outcome-driven, efficient, and accountable. So what questions do you have about the full definition of focus on the results or the key elements? And please let me know if there is still static. Okay. All right. Why can't people focus on the results? That's my question to you. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and answer the poll question. Why can't people focus on the results? Part of the reason why I'm focusing on the sound is just from my communication training, that having the right sound is better than being visible. So, because people can go back and listen to it. So if there is a sound problem, I used to do a web television show with my sister. So we went and learned how to do web TV way back in 2011-12 timeframe. And that was one of the things that was mentioned, is the sound quality has to be there. But the question for you is, why can't people focus on the results? And look at this ray of sunshine on me. All right, Kevin, your answer is they can't focus on the results because they're too caught up in making it through the process. Interesting perspective. Got it. That we see a lot of people. We had a client at home. She's on her way to basic training in July. So now there are a lot of basic training things showing up in my TikTok feed. And basic training used to be for the Army, used to be 6 weeks, is now it's 10 weeks. And it is about just saying I'm gonna graduate from basic training, because if you get caught up in can I make it through basic rifle marksmanship or land nav or any of those other things that you have to do, you will drop out because you'll get caught up in the I can't get this part done. No, some people don't care about results, and that is also interesting perspective as well. So here are the answers that I have for you today. Number one is a lack of clarity. Lack of clarity. Lack of clarity has showed up multiple times since we've been in the pink section of Our Leaders Wear Pink. And it's if you don't have a strategy, and I always call it a dumbass plan, because if it's not a clear strategy, it's a dumbass plan. And then if shit goes left, you got to refer back to your dumbass plan. People don't like to do the upfront work, go slow to go fast. They just want to jump in with both feet, both arms, and 6 other people. Then it goes left, and then everybody starts doing the blame game, pointing at each other and saying it was your fault, it was your fault. No, it was the dumbass plan's fault. And I always say this, if you ever meet me in person and we're coming across anything, retail or anything, I say, who was in the meeting? Shit goes left at the store. Some type of planogram has been changed. We experienced something from a supply chain perspective or something. And I'm like, who was in the meeting? Because somebody had to meet for this and it got all the way to the marketplace. So who was in the meeting and blessed off on it and said, yep, that's a good idea. We're going to go do that. Or I'll say, somebody said this was a good idea. It was a good cost initiative. They got promoted. They are no longer in the company or in that position. And now shit is rolling downhill and we have something that is useless and expensive. So I always say who was in the meeting and why, who had signing approval on it. So lack of clarity, no clear goal or outcome. So if people don't know exactly what results look like, they default to focusing on the task and the effort. They're just going to say, okay, look at how much effort we're putting into this, and this is working because we're saying it's working. But if you don't have a goal, then anything is liable to happen. And so excuse me, here's the thing that I've also noticed. Hey, it's baby. What military service did you have, if you're still here? Did you serve in the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, National Guard, Army Reserves? How many years of service do you have for this great nation? Are you still serving in the military? Are you still sacrificing your life for America? So if you're from India, why are you speaking about America? Why was that your first statement? Why are you talking about America if you are from India? Shouldn't that be make India great again? Shouldn't that be that? Have you ever been to America before? Have you ever been to America before? Because I'm trying to understand why I'm talking about the brain and I'm talking about focus on the results. And you're in India. What time is it where you're located? So you're at the end of your day potentially. And you are coming here with political rhetoric that you have no real valid information to corroborate these things that you're saying. You're watching this from afar, looking at it from a distance, and you've decided that this is something that you should do in your day. So, as a person who has sacrificed their life for America, as a person who currently lives in America, and as a person who is educating people on how to use their brain, this is not a good use of your neural pathways this morning, this afternoon, this evening. Do not detract your messages. You started it. Do not detract them now because it didn't bode well for you. You FA'd FO, because that's what we're saying in America in 2025 as well. You misread the room. That's what you did. Okay. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Itsy Baby had a lack of clarity this morning and developed a dumbass plan. I, on the other hand, have a strategy. I have a written agenda for this morning, and I've been live for 500, and today makes day 83. I've also been alive for 52 years, and I've had a myriad of life experiences. And so I am quite strategic in everything that I do, even in my approach to people who are being unaccountable on my live. Don't start none, won't be none. Again, lack of clarity. So no clear goal or outcome. Itsy Baby didn't have a clear goal or outcome, just tried to get a dopamine boost, a manufactured dopamine boost that has been programmed from confirmation bias and conformity bias that is being presented on the global news for all of you to see and witness, but you misread the room. So when you have no clear goal or outcome, then you'll do anything for any type of attention. Hopefully, I've given you your manufactured dopamine boost this morning. Now, poor planning. Itsy Baby also had poor planning this morning. So without a clear roadmap, it's easy to stay busy without being effective. And so Itsy Baby decided to do something asinine this morning, and it was a poor, bad plan. This, ladies and gentlemen, is real world dumbass planning on the part of Itsy Baby. Itsy Baby. Poor planning. So this person failed miserably. And thank you so much for the learning opportunity for the people who actually want to learn how to use their amazing brain. I couldn't have planned this. Thank you, God, higher power in the universe. Moving on. Number 2, distractions by process. Distractions by process. People often get caught up in how things are done. So procedures and meetings and routines rather than what they are trying to achieve. I, in the last 12 years, have made different choices, had strategies, got rid of those strategies, and continue to move on because the main thing is the main thing. Adults need to learn how to hold themselves personally accountable to become their best so they don't wake up in the morning ensuing asinine antics like this person did, only to be unsuccessful. So do not let the policy and procedures, this is what you do. Someone's on live and these are the things that you say, buzzwords in America, and whoo, watch the eruption happen. No bueno, didn't work. And then the other thing is perfectionism. So wanting everything to be perfect stops you from focusing on the results. Michael Masterson's books, Ready, Fire, Aim, says, hey, you got to fire and then make adjustments based upon wherever your target, whatever your target is that and where it landed. And in Al-Anon, we say it's progress, not perfection. It's progress, not perfection. So if you're trying to be perfect, stop, because there is no perfect human being. Stop. Okay? Progress, focus on the results, But don't say, oh, well, I'm just start as soon as I have a live from me speaking, saying as soon as I get mine. No, you just got to go out there, have a strategy, and then make adjustments to the strategy along the way. Number 3 is emotional investments. So emotional investments. So fear of failure can cause people to avoid committing to measurable outcomes. I think I'm going to fail. This is going to go left. So I'm not really going to commit to a strategy. And that's why people have dumbass plans like Itsy Baby. It's a dumbass plan because you didn't have a real strategy. You didn't research who you were talking to. You just saw an African American woman going live and you thought this is what you're going to do this morning. And you found out that it really was not a good idea. So now you're just going to do something stupid. Now you're going to do something that's not measurable, which is busy work, which is what people do to make it look like they're doing something productive. And hamsters, and I've said this before, hamsters are in a wheel or a clear ball just running around in the same spot going nowhere, where the tortoise is going to be focused and strategic, and the goal is the finish line. The goal is the finish line. The goal for the hamster is just to sit there and look like they're doing something, sweat a little, get a little bit of food, take a nap, rinse and repeat again and again. That tortoise is just going day in, day out, and just go slow to go fast, and they're going to cross the finish line. So the fear of causing people to, the fear of failure. I'm going to fail, so let me look busy. I'm going to fail. I've been failing. Failure is not an option. It's one of the 74 principles of real leadership, but you're going to fail until you succeed. Failing is part of the success equation. And then they may focus on staying safe or busy to avoid being judged on actual results. So if I'm busy working doing this, then you can't judge me on my results. If I keep just saying, you know what, I was just really brainstorming this morning. I came up with some great ideas for my book. I'm not ready to share them with you yet, but oh my goodness, you should see my wall. You should see my vision board. I can't show it to you yet because I'm still working on it. And 15 years from now, all this shit, the paper, everything on it is old as hell, and people are still talking about it. I'm just really, I got some ideas that I'm putting inside of my head. And so I really am thinking about it. I was thinking about it. I was going to go with this approach, but then do I write a novel? Do I write a comic book? And you just start saying all of these things so nobody can say, where your shit at? My favorite 2 words in the English language. No, coming soon. Motherfucker put coming soon on something. Coming soon has to have a date because that's just in the future. Coming soon. Coming soon. No. Coming soon when? If a movie trailer comes out and they say coming soon September 2025, October 2025. So coming soon, June 13th, 2025. Or don't put that shit out there. Do not. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a website, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. I look at the bottom of the website, it's saying June 2020. 5 years later, ain't shit there. They didn't make the page private or nothing else. It's just sitting there. And I mean recently, go to your little cute little link tree with all your little links on it, and boom, coming soon. No, it's not. You done forgot about it. It ain't coming soon because you found out how much work it was, and so then you abandoned the idea. All right, number 4, external pressures. Toxic environments can hinder outcomes. Toxic environments can hinder outcomes. If I was still connected to my immediate family, I'm 37 months from no contact from them. There's no way I'm coming out as a nerd. There's no way I'm talking to you about the brain. There's no way. None of this is actually happening whatsoever. I would still be doing things that I could do and still be being gaslit and everything else. And I actually looked up the definition of manipulation and gaslighting, and I have a Dr. Donna's definition. And so it's manipulating. So it's a combination of gaslighting, which says that ain't true, that's not what's happening. And then manipulation is do what I want you to do so I can get my intended results. So it's manipulating is what I was experiencing. And you can't do anything if you are in a toxic environment. And then the other part of external pressures is people may follow what's rewarded culturally rather than what actually matters. Rather than what actually matters. Perhaps you should go to LinkedIn, it's baby, and stop disrupting me. My full name, my government name is Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers. So perhaps you should go to LinkedIn if you have questions about any of my credentials and who I am. You should actually Google me, and you might find that you might just want to stay over here and learn how to use your brain instead of doing whatever else it is that you're doing with your life, okay? So go to LinkedIn if you have questions about who I am. People may follow what's rewarded culturally rather than what actually matters. So, for example, I am very good at public speaking. People have told me, "Oh my goodness, you should be a public speaker. You should be a business strategist." This is what, and I could have acquiesced and went on ahead and did those things and be extremely profitable and be sitting somewhere hating what I was doing. Didn't like being a public speaker, didn't like being a business strategist. And so I'm over here teaching you how to use your brain because that's what the world needs. The world needs somebody focused on the functionality of the brain day in and day out to get the best out of everybody, not just some chosen few, but everybody, every adult globally. 6.8 billion adults in the world need to learn how to use their brain. So the external pressure to go do something else, be a billionaire, be a trillionaire, and all of that, or do what I came here to do. And I'm choosing to do that. That's why I can focus on this neuroscience class and everything else, and being live and all the other things, book challenges, 30-day challenges, and everything else that I have to do on the daily basis. And then lack of accountability is number 5. We actually have 6 of these. So lack of accountability. Without clear systems of measurement, feedback, and ownership, there's no urgency to deliver results. There is no urgency to deliver results. And that is why personal accountability is so important, because you have to learn how to hold yourself personally accountable, and then you can hold others personally accountable. Whenever somebody's like, "I just need you to mentor me. I need somebody to make sure I do what I do." You make sure you do what you do. You are your own responsibility. You are the CEO of Me Incorporated. I'm not going to make sure you do what you do. I have systems in place for you to do what you do. That's why everything feels like a mirror, because you are responsible for you and all that you fail to do. So the whole lack of accountability, "But I just need a battle buddy." No, you don't. A battle buddy is for when you are in the military and you need somebody to go with and understand what's taking place and give your letter in case you don't make it back home to your loved ones. But they're not responsible for you. You're responsible for you. And then the other part of lack of accountability is people may not be held responsible for the outcome, just the activity. So I'll use this example. The Urban Chamber, when I was a strategic advisor there, they used to have a monthly luncheon. People would have tables, vendor tables, and all of that. And at the end of every luncheon, they would say it was a success because they would be counting the amount of people that attended the luncheon and how much money they made from the luncheon. And I would say, how many people made business connections and led to actual business results? And they didn't like me for saying that, but I said, it's just busy work. It makes everybody think that they made some contacts. But what led to actual contracts? What led to actual business connections and sales and interactions? How many people got contracts with the casinos? How many people it actually got, your product got into stores? Whatever your service is, how many people got contracts with the school system, the county, and all of that? And those numbers were quite small. But if you say you have 400 people at the luncheon and you can put that on the website, then that gets more people to come to the luncheon. But your business is not actually going. And how they couched it every month. And they had a monthly morning breakfast at the beginning of the month, and the luncheon was at the end of the month. And every month they said the opportunity to get your business in front of 2,000 other business owners, the opportunity, because that's how many members they had. So the opportunity, so they sold that opportunity as something. Lack of accountability. Okay. It's baby. I have been more than patient with you. I have given you grace because I'm being guided by a higher power to give you grace right now. Your amygdala is being hijacked. Okay, so let's do this. Your amygdala is being hijacked right now. And if I have my other brain shirt on, I would show you where it is. But you can use the second device and look up the temporal lobe. And inside of the limbic system, which is located in the temporal lobe, is the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, as well as the amygdala. Now, the amygdala is there. It's a small almond-shaped entity of your brain. And it's there to warn you, to say fight or flight. A threat is coming. Okay? And also, negativity bias, which is what we are hardwired to do, is the reason why you keep looking for a fight. Okay? You have been unsuccessful 4 times and you have deleted 4 messages, and you are really trying to get me and my amygdala to be hijacked. Only you are neurologically inept to do this. Okay? So stop, because you are failing miserably. You are not on my level from an education perspective, intellectually, and obviously from your word choice, I'm older than you. I've been here longer than you. I got street sense, book sense, and common sense. And so you are just showing the regulars how unaccountable you actually are. And I know you're not accustomed to this because you are a troll and you go through people's lives to do this because things in your own life are going left. I'm attempting to give you the grace that I'm being directed by my higher power to give you. And you are attempting to not be appreciative of this level of grace that you are receiving. Additionally, I'm using you as an example of unaccountable people. And yet, once again, now you have 5 messages that you have deleted. The thing about being personally accountable is that one of the 74 principles of real leadership is to keep your word. You have resorted in 4 different tactics, which shows me that you don't even know who you are. But if you actually stayed on the live and learned how to use your frontal lobe, you'd find out that your personality resides in your frontal lobe, and you stop living in a hijacked amygdala state where you are pursuing fight, flight, freeze, or appease, and you are addicted to manufacturing dopamine, which is why you keep trying to egg me on, because that is how you feel powerful, but you are actually weak. You have a big ego, low confidence, and low self-esteem. My suggestion to you is to grab some note-taking materials and learn how to use your brain, because right now your amygdala is guiding your life. Number 6, habit and comfort zone. It's easier to focus on tasks you're used to rather than stretch toward real goals. You are used to coming on the internet and taking these troll actions. And that is why you are not getting your desired result. You do have a desired result, but this isn't it. So you should really stop. And task-based mindset feels productive even if they aren't effective. And so your task this morning is to keep typing something until you get a amygdala response from me. And so your objective every day is to go on the internet and do this. It's habit, it's comfort. We can't see you. That's not your government name from your country. The profile photo isn't you. So we call this disinhibition effect. You can look that up as well. I refer to it as being a thumb thug because you can say all of this in the safety and comfort of wherever you're located right now, and nothing in theory will happen to you other than the fact that I'm a Christian and the Bible says don't touch my anointed. So be wary of what may potentially happen to you today from these antics. Okay, so it's habit and comfort zone. It's easier to focus on the task at hand, keep typing messages, and don't stretch yourself to go get note-taking materials and actually learn something. And then you have these tasks where you wake up every day to do this, and not even in your own country, but let's go and bother somebody in America, which really shows what's taking place where you are currently located. I'm going to go fuck with some Americans because I bet not do it over here because they might be able to find out who I am. So in summary, people don't focus on results because they're distracted, unclear, afraid, or untrained to do so. People don't focus on results because they're distracted, unclear, afraid, or untrained to do so. But, and this is awesome, the skill can be developed with clarity, discipline, and personal accountability. So what questions or comments do you have regarding why people can't focus on the results? Number 1 is lack of clarity, no clear goal or outcome, poor planning. Number 2, distractions by process. So people often get caught up in how things should be done, and perfectionism. Number 3, emotional investments. So people have a fear of failure, and they also are wanting to stay focused on being busy and safe. Number 4 is external pressure. You got toxic environments and people that will say, I'm going to reward you for this worldly thing that we love, but don't do this thing that you actually came here to do. And then number 5, lack of accountability. Without clear systems to measure, you will just deliver anything, and people will not be held responsible for their unaccountable antics. And then number 6, and most importantly, habit and comfort zone. It's easy to be bold, bad, big, and bodacious when you are sitting in a comfort zone. So in summary, people don't focus on the results because they're distracted, unclear, unafraid, or untrained to do so. And they can do it It's just going to take clarity, discipline, and personal accountability. So what questions do you have or comments that you have regarding the reasons why people don't focus on the results? I'm eating my egg already. And we are coming around third with how to focus on results. So after I see your responses, and we have 7 of the ways to focus on results. Thank you very much, Mr. Hook. So how to focus on the results. Number 1, start with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind, start with the end in mind. So define success clearly. What does a win look like? So in order for you to do it, as you're not doing anything without a strategy, you're developing your strategy. So you have to define what a win looks like. And as I've mentioned in my book and I've mentioned on lives, you're going to use SMART goals to do that. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So if your strategy doesn't meet the SMART meter, that means that it is a dumbass plan and it's not a SMART goal, a SMART strategy. And in addition to that, you're going to ask, what outcome am I working toward? What outcome am I working toward? What outcome am I working toward? Okay, so that's what you do with begin with the end in mind. Number 2, prioritize outcomes, not activities. So prioritize outcomes, not activities. So you're going to focus on the impact over the effort. And there is a concept called effort bias. We've talked about it previously, where someone attempted to put together an IKEA chair and you couldn't sit in it, and it's kind of together, but they took hours to do it. And so they put it inside of their living room because they wanted people to see the effort that it took for them to put this chair together that no one can sit in. So you want the impact to be better than the effort. Additionally, you want to use the 80-20 rule. You want to identify 20% of actions that deliver 80% of your results. Identify 20% of your actions that deliver 80% of your results. So focus on these 5 things that are going to get you to 80% accomplishment, and not these 30 things that aren't going to amount to a hill of beans. Okay, and then also you're going to ask yourself daily questions. Is this getting me closer to my goal? Is this getting me closer to my goal? Every day, ask yourself to do that, and then make sure that it aligns with the 80-20 rule, and don't think about so much effort. I have literally said this is not going to work. This time last year, we were doing the yes and no challenge, and people were dropping like flies in that challenge, and it is no longer here. For the people who said it was a 90% failure rate. And so for the 10% where it worked, they wanted me to keep it. They were like, oh, no, this is great. And I'm like, no, behind the scenes, this is not good. This is not a good challenge. And so that challenge is gone. I had to ask myself with every person dropping out before the first 10 days, what's taking place? What's going on? And so now it's been replaced with the personal accountability challenge. So I took that information, those results, and made a better initial 30-day challenge. Number 3 is track progress with metrics. So you're going to track projects with metrics, and you're going to use KPMs or KPIs, key performance measures or key performance indicators. You can even use scorecards to measure your movements towards results. And so when I was working at Frito-Lay, we had scorecards for the team, for the site, for the region, and everything else. Everything was measured, and no more than 5 to 8, I say no more than 3 to 5 because that was 14. No more than 3 to 5 KPMs, key performance measures or key performance indicators. And so you don't want to have too many things that you're measuring. So let's say, for example, your goal is to lose 20 pounds. So you're going to diet and exercise, get rest, and you're going to change your diet itself. So diet, exercise, and get plenty of rest. You don't want to then say, I'm going to buy outfits, I'm going to get snatched, I'm going to do tutorials on the best way to do a diet, get ready with me. And now you have 8 things that you need to do every day. And you forgot that the main thing was to lose 20 pounds. So in that instance, 3 KPIs or KPMs is enough. Focus on those every day. Make sure you eat the right meals. You went to sleep on time. You got your exercise in. And then over time, you will get to your goal of losing 20 pounds. And you want to keep goals visible. So you can put them on a wall. You can put them on a dashboard, on a notebook. You can put them on your phone. And you can put them on a whiteboard. 3x5 cards, 5x6 cards in your car, on the mirror, everywhere, so that you can see that these are my goals. And for some people, back in the day, they used to tell them, buy an outfit in the size that you want to be, put it next to your treadmill, your Stairmaster, and look at the outfit every day. You might even try it on once a week to see if you can get in it, button it, zip it, and all of that. Number 4 is build accountability. Build accountability. So you want to set deadlines and check in. And these are self-imposed deadlines. Again, this is personal accountability. You are responsible for you. You are the CEO of Me Incorporated. Finish what you start. That's one of the 74 principles of real leadership, Deepak. So you can go to the Finish What You Start live, and it's in the 74 principles of real leadership playlist as well as in the live playlist. So you need to go watch Finish What You Start. Okay, now you're next, after you build accountability, you're going to set deadlines. You share your goals with a mentor, coach, team, or family, and you let them know, this is my goal. That's why my book reviews are on my YouTube channel, because I'm sharing goals. I tell you I'm working on neuroscience now, and I'm studying it so that you can understand that I'm actually studying it. So I'm walking the walk, I'm not talking the walk. And then finally, you want to review at a consistent, defined time frame, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. And you're asking yourself, what results did I achieve? So if you're attempting to lose weight, you weigh yourself once a week on the same day, and you go, and then you say, did I achieve the results? Wow, I'm ahead of my goal. I lost 2 pounds this week. I lost 3 pounds this week. Ooh, I stayed the same. What did I do? And then you just kind of make adjustments to your exercise routine or your diet regimen. Number 5 is eliminate distractions. Eliminate distractions is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Eliminate distractions. So you're going to eliminate the busy work, perfectionism, and unnecessary meetings. I have 60-second strategies that talk about meaningless meetings, and I don't believe meetings should last longer than 30 minutes, and really 15. And they even have these things called standing meetings now, because if you make everybody stand up, somehow they magically get to their point faster, because they want to go back and sit down. Walking meetings, all these other things to keep the brain focused. But yes, so you want to eliminate busy work, perfectionism, and unnecessary meetings, and only have the people there that need to be there, have a timed agenda, a facilitator, note taker, all that stuff already defined. And then you want to use the principles of real leadership, stay focused, and get organized and stay organized in order for you to eliminate those distractions. So when you stay focused and you get organized and stay organized, you can ensure that you are eliminating distractions. Number 6 is adapt and adjust. Adapt and adjust. Regularly ask what's working and what's not working. And how many times have I come on a live and said, I did this, but now I'm going to switch this up, because I am assessing what is actually leading to the objective, which is to teach 6.8 billion adults how to hold themselves personally accountable so we get to best. Not 70%, not the Chris Henry effect, but actually 100% new neural pathways being created every single day for you and used effectively for you to achieve best outcome day in and day out. And be willing to pivot your strategy, but keep your results goal fixed. So be willing to pivot. So I started this 12 years ago and have made plenty of pivots. Even if you go back to when I started lives here on YouTube on January 19th, or clearly on TikTok 500 and something days ago, that format is not the format that I am doing today, but the objective is the same. The result is the same. Adults holding themselves personally accountable day in and day out to become their best. Okay, number 7 is celebrate real wins. And we've said this multiple times, celebrate the small wins so that you can get to the big wins. So recognize when outcomes are achieved, not just when effort is made, but when you actually have. So if you say, ooh, I worked out today, I did my workout. Until you lose the amount of weight that you need to lose, you don't celebrate that. So if for some reason you backslid and now you didn't gain 2 pounds, but you're like, but I really thought about losing weight this week. No, you do not reward yourself for that. And then reward yourself for completion, not busyness. And it's a mindset shift. So don't confuse motion with progress. Again, the example that I used previously is a hamster on a wheel or hamster in one of those clear balls rolling around the house versus the tortoise who starts at the start line and then progresses to the finish line. That is what you need to do. So do not confuse motion. If you are on the Stairmaster climbing stairs, if you are on a treadmill running, you aren't going anywhere. Now, if you are on a running path, you are going to be going somewhere. If you climb a flight of stairs, you're going to go from one level to the next level. So that's the difference between motion and progress. And then being busy is not the same as being effective. Being busy is not the same as being effective. So just buzzing around being busy is not the same as getting results done. People tell me all the time how much stuff they're doing, and they're so busy. And then we look at results and ain't shit happening. So everything that I do is strategic, and I can attach what I did to an actual result. Even if it's a result that, like I said with the yes and no challenge last year, I initially thought, oh, this is good because what I did was a soft launch behind the scenes. Those people it worked for, so then I went public with it. And then, I realized, and now I know it's neurological. So if you don't have the neural pathway to tell people no, that's half of the yes and no challenge. So you're not going to be able to do the other half because you can't do the first half or the back half. You can tell yourself yes. So the whole yes and no challenge was you tell yourself yes, and then you tell someone else no, and then you send it in and you tell me what that felt like and what you did. And people, that no was kicking people in their ass. And now I know they did not have the no nor pathway because, again, I'm continuously learning and growing as well. And grow continually is one of the 74 principles of world leadership. Okay, I'm going to review what questions do you have on how to focus on the results. So number one is start with the end in mind. And you're going to ask yourself, what outcome am I working towards? Number two, you're going to prioritize outcomes, not activities. So you're going to focus on the impact over the effort. You're going to use the 80-20 rule, and you're going to ask yourself the daily question, is this getting me closer to my goal? Number three, you're going to track your progress. You're going to use KPMs or KPIs, and you're going to keep goals visible somewhere where you see it daily or throughout your day. Number four, you're going to build accountability. So you're going to have self-imposed personal accountability measures that you give to yourself every single day. You're going to share those goals with somebody that you know and trust, and then you're going to review it consistently, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, and all the other lees, and ask yourself, what results did I achieve? Number five is eliminate distractions. So this whole busy work, perfectionism, and unnecessary meetings, they got to go so you can grow. And then you're going to use the two of the principles of real leadership, which is stay focused and get organized and stay organized. Number six is adapt and adjust. So you're going to ask yourself, I neglected to say this, adapt and adjust. What's working, what's not working? And then be willing to pivot if it isn't working. And then number seven, you want to celebrate your wins. When they're actually accomplishments and you actually get the results that you want, then you will celebrate that. And then there has to be a mindset shift. So do not confuse motion with progress. Being busy is not the same as being effective. Now, if you don't have any questions or comments about how to focus on the results, I have the final two questions for you today, which is, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself today? what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? Kevin, today I learned to track progress with the matrix. Nola is thinking. So here's what I learned today. And it's a baby whose real name we will never know because they will not have access to this live after today. Is this: when you are doing what you came here to do, that makes unaccountable people uncomfortable because it doesn't match their narrative. So anytime you do that, their objective is to distract you, sometimes insult you, whatever they can to get you to stop doing the thing that you came here to do. Now, most of you know that I would never let someone stay on the live, the entire live, doing this unless I had a point, unless I had a strategy. Now, what was my result for today? What did I need to focus on? I needed to focus on preparing for my live as I did, presenting this information to you, and getting to the end of my notes and asking you these two questions. So I focused on the results. I got to focus on the results that I want to see, regardless of what is happening. So I let that person stay on the live because the main thing is still the main thing. The main thing, people are going to come up to you and say silly things. They're going to call you on the phone while you're attempting to focus on something that's going to impact the world. They're going to do that. And guess what you have to do? Focus on the results, eliminate distractions, handle conflict when it occurs, hold people personally accountable, which is why this person keeps deleting their messages. So it's a lesson. It's always a lesson. Kevin said, myself, I learned that I spent a lot of time focused on the process and not as much time reviewing the results. Noah said, I learned about myself that I am extremely results focused. And Noah said, I learned a lot of things people do is lack clarity. Okay. So let me go ahead and get you out of here. Okay. So its baby is now gone because, first of all, why, Dr. Donna? Because it appeared at the end that that person was attempting to participate in the process. The first thing that that person typed was "Make America Great Again." That's the first thing that the person typed. So the person didn't take, because of lack of clarity. Yes, that person didn't take time to sit for a minute, observe, see what was actually going on. And then they went with more and more and more antics. And when they found out that none of those things were going to work, they then felt challenged. And they wanted to hijack my amygdala to stop me from doing the thing that I came here to do this morning, was to teach you how to focus on results. That is going to actually take place in your life. So my question to you right now is, how did having that person be present throughout the entire live make you feel? And yes, Kevin, to your point, people, and that's what happens is you've been programmed, that neural pathway goes to let me focus on the process instead of on actually reviewing, does this process lead to my desired result? And then, yes, Nola, lack of clarity. If you don't have a clear goal, anything will look like a result. Anything you could say, and I see it all the time. People raise their children, they become grown, they were on one path, and then that path went way shit show palooza left, and now they holding a grandbaby. I always wanted a grand. Look at my grandbaby. No. What happened to the baby? What did the baby do? I thought the baby went to college. I thought the baby would start a business. How we get all the way to grandkid? It's some time. It take 9 months to get the grandkid. What they been doing? And so the goal ain't that. Now we gonna change it to look at the grand, and now it's all these matching pajama photos with the grand in it. Start all over because that project went left. Kevin said, I actually didn't enjoy having them, and I was wondering why you gave so much grace. But in the back of my mind, I knew there was a plan. I was added the because I didn't type it at first. Yes. And Nola, what was your feelings about the unaccountable person being able to stay throughout the live? Some things I can tell you, but I can't simulate because we don't actually live. I mean, Nola lives with me, but even her experiences are different because there's a 29.5 year age gap between us. And when those people show up and I am guided by a higher power, if I'm told to let them stay, I let them stay. And what happens is the other thing that you should have noticed is the double speak, right? So this person says, make America great, starts with all of these things. And so my first question to them was, well, what military service were you a part of? You want to make America great? That's how you do it. First thing you do is put your life on the line for this country. Now I know if I'm talking to a current service member or a veteran, active duty reserves or veteran. And now you say, yeah, I didn't. Okay. I don't live in America. Okay. So now you're watching. Have you ever been here before? No. Okay. So you're watching from some type of screen and you're getting rhetoric from both sides or all sides or whatever. And you've decided, based upon my aesthetics, beauty bias, gender bias, and conformity bias, racism, and confirmation bias, that you think you know what's going to get my amygdala hijacked. It didn't work. I didn't see your joke. You said I was added the because I didn't type it first. I didn't see your joke. No, if you type it back up, I don't know what was the joke. So there was that part. And I had a choice. I could have removed them when they said make America great, but I was guided. We need to prove a point. So what happens is with unaccountable people, they retract statements a lot. Because they're in a hijacked amygdala state, they're not in their frontal lobe. They're not using their actual personality. So you can tell that that person is a fair weather friend. They are a thermometer instead of a thermostat. So the person started with Make America Great. By the end, they're on team Dr. Donna, and now it's about personal accountability and everything else. That's why you don't fuck with unaccountable people, because they change like the wind. Whereas me, I am a thermostat, and I'm going to maintain the temperature of this. I told the person to go. This person didn't go to my LinkedIn or any of that, and they're just staying here doing whatever, seeking a dopamine boost. I gave them plenty of opportunities to actually apologize. That never occurred. And so that is why that person doesn't have access to this account anymore. This is actually happening in your life and you're letting it take place. You're just like, well, I'm just not going to say anything. No, I'm going to hold you personally accountable for everything that you say. The second example that I have is there is a video going around of women in their 50s. What do you look like? And so women are getting all done up and saying 57, 65, I'm still snatched, looking a little haggard and all of that. So I chimed in. And I made a video and I said, I'm 52. And I look like this because I've spent many years in inclement weather, gave a little bit about my background. And then I challenged them. I said, okay, we're all going to look like individuals because of what we've done in life. I said, tag somebody and open up your medicine cabinet. And let's see what's in your medicine cabinet. Because that's how we know how old you are, by how many pills you have to take to be vertical on any given day. And then the other thing I said was, what's your legacy? You've been here 18,250 days or more. What are you leaving behind? A beautiful corpse? Is that what you're going to do? Because the amount of time that it takes to do all that, you could be working on your personal legend at this point. And so I say that to say, unaccountable people want you to get your attention for reasons unknown to me, because there's nothing really to look at. They want attention and they want your attention. Because as Linda said, they need a host. They need something to latch on to because they don't like who they are. They don't know who they are, so therefore they don't like it. So let me go over here, 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 and get some type of external stimulation, because ain't shit happening from the inside out. So I let that person stay because you need to see the observations, and unfortunately the chat doesn't show up on the replay, but for the people who are here, the person for the replay, they just kept typing dumb shit and deleting it, dumb shit and deleting it. And that's why you can't depend on an unaccountable person. because they are going to retract what they've done as quickly as they've said it. So you can't get them to keep their word. You can't establish trust and let them be trustworthy. They can't lead by example. As soon as it kind of lit, oh, let me take that back. Oh, let me take that back. Fair weather friends. That's what's happening. So that's why that person had to be there. That's why you had to feel what you felt. And it's happening in your life. So don't look at it as, well, Dr. Donna let the person stay on live. And why did she do that? Why didn't the person leave? Why didn't the person leave? Why? That's the bigger question. Why did that person decide to stay and keep at it? Not why didn't Dr. Donna just kick them off? Why did they come to my live talking shit to begin with? Because that's what's happening. Unaccountable people are coming to your life, to your business, to your space. And now it's like, well, I need to do something. Or they could just stop and become personally accountable. That's what I'm up against. The neurological pathways, no neurons were firing. There was no striking. There was no clicking, nothing, a synapse or whatever was taking place. They are literally wired for that nonsense. And if you keep those wires together. So a year ago, I wouldn't have known any of this information. We might have went back and forth and I wouldn't have known why. But now I know exactly why. And I told that person what was actually taking place for them neurologically. That's why I'm studying neuroscience. So I can understand that those neurons are firing, they're not. And what happens with people that have sick brains is that the neurons are firing at the wrong time. So now when they might be going tat, 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 they're going tat, 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 tat. And so the inhibition control that's located in the executive function of the brain that tells you, hey, don't do that, don't say that, isn't readily available for them. And now they can't even help themselves because neurologically, they haven't created neural pathways of personal accountability, of waiting to ask a question when there is space. As we talked about, if you don't know, ask in a group setting. So they lack the neural pathways. They lack the firing of those neurons to even start a connection, to start a neural pathway. And that's what's taking place. So as a result, I know that I can use that to my advantage, however I see fit. So I can hijack your amygdala and you'll be trying to hijack mine, and then you'll be in a fetal position somewhere in a corner crying like a little toddler, but don't start none, won't be none. Or we can have an intellectual exchange and I can teach you how to have the neural pathway that I'm talking about for neuropability, and now you can focus on the results. So that's it in and of itself. Use this as an example for you. No, I didn't see your joke. If you want to type it again before we go. Or you can tell me because I'm about to see you anyway. So that's the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen. The brain is the most powerful organ in your body. It tells you everything to do or not. You are responsible for creating the new neural pathways that allow you, it's not coming up, you can just tell me after, that allows you to become your best. No one else is stopping you from anything. Your inability to create flickers, flashes, and spikes of new neurons to create synapses, to create neural pathways, that shit is on you. It ain't on nobody else. It's not, everybody on here is an adult. It's not your parents' fault. It's not your spouse's fault, your significant other, your insignificant other, your employer. I talk about all the things I learned at Frito-Lay, and I guarantee you, if you come across another manager, senior VP, or anything else, and say, yeah, so C.E. Doolin, Herman Lay, you know what I'm saying? What about the supply? They're going to know about their portion of the company and what they're doing. Someone on Threads yesterday pointed to a bag of Doritos, family-sized Doritos, that was $9. And it was $8.99. It was like, why are Doritos $9? And I said, let me tell you why. Because every year you either go up on the price, and then the next year you go down on the bag size. Up on the price, down on the bag size. Up on the price, down on the bag size. So if you think your bag of any Frito-Lay product is getting smaller, it is. And if the price is increasing, it is. And I've been gone 15 years. Who the hell will remember that? And I've been gone for 15 years, but I know that because of supply chain. So your brain is magnificent. It's awesome and it's amazing. But if you want to access that shit, you're going to have to create those new neural pathways. That's on you. It's not on me. And if you don't, and you come over here trying to talk shit, we're going to have a problem. Or you're going to have a problem. Or I might just delete you. Who knows? But you're going to find out one way or another. So it is your responsibility to use your brain as it was designed for you to have your best in the community in which you reside. This is all on you. My objective is to teach you how to use it. My objective is to teach you to go, hey, I need some neurons firing. If you start feeling like, oh my shit, oh my God, what's happening? Embrace change. And the amygdala is going to be hijacked. And then you're going to experience cognitive overload until you create that neural pathway. So when you are building something, sometimes you got to excavate it, get rid of stuff, prune some neural pathways, lay a foundation. And that's going to take effort, real effort. But then you're going to start having that neural pathway, and then you're going to strengthen it. And now you have a new skill. Now you have a new behavior. And now you can grow forward in your life. So it is not the people at school didn't teach you enough. It's not that your job didn't teach you enough. It's that you don't have new neural pathways, and your working memory for the shit you already know how to do is deteriorating by the time you turn 35. So if you're 50 and you're saying, I'll just show how to, you still can. You still can. But it's going to take effort. It's going to take work in order for you to create these new neural pathways. Lola said, you have taught me a lot to handle people. Thanks. And now I'm calm. My pleasure. So now you don't have to have this hijacked amygdala because you think that I got to fight, flight, freeze, or appease. You actually don't. You actually handle people attacking you better in your frontal lobe because now you have access to problem solving. You have access to decision making. You have access to who you are from a personality perspective. And that gives you the ability to go, dude is over here talking about MAGA and everything else. I'm like, I'm not quite sure what you thought that was going to do, but I'm extremely intelligent. I'm definitely smart as hell. And I understand the brain better than the imbecile that was on my live. So there you have it. When it's brain games, Dr. D.O. Gibson, my favorite teacher, said, honey, they can't take what you put up here. And I remember that from 10th grade accounting. I do. Unless you get some neurological boom, boom, boom. And even then, you can still, with neuroplasticity, wire your brain back again. All you need is some flashes, little flickers. And next thing you know, you back again. Your brain is an amazing organ. It is. Use it. It is a central processing unit for everything that you do and everything that you fail to do. So from this day forward, don't blame nobody else if your life, your decision making, and everything else is fucked up. You're lazy and you don't want to create those new neural pathways. Do not say, I just need, with Dr. Donna, I just need this over here. Nobody got time for all them neural pathways. Yes, you do, because I'm watching your shit show of a life fall the fuck apart. You need a lot of neural pathways. Yes, you do. So you can keep, as the women, the 50-year-olds making your face and looking all snatched and everything else. That's not going to help your 15-year-old decreasing working memory do shit. At 50, your working memory has depleted by 15 years. At 50. So keep adding on to that. And if all you got is this, you ain't got shit at all. Your brain is not happy about that at all. In fact, it's dormant. It's just like, okay, well, fuck it. More makeup. All right, more clothes, more hair. Look at my nails. And that's it. You're so much more than that. Everybody is. So again, I know I'm like a pastor, a Baptist pastor at church. I'm not going to be before you long. But I'm compelled to say these things. Your brain is your problem or your brain is your solution. Either way, it's on you. Don't walk away from this live saying it's on anybody else. If you don't know how to do it, if you're in a bad situation, develop the neural pathways to get your ass out of there. That's it. Don't come calling nobody to come rescue you. Can't nobody rescue you from you. You take you wherever you go. So who the fuck they rescuing you from? Yourself? I ain't never seen it happen. Not at all. You got yourself into the shit. Think your way out of it. Get your ass out of your hijacked amygdala. Go to your frontal lobe and use your brain as it was designed to be used. Focus on the results and do not let imbeciles distract you. Because it was irritating for the people that was here, but I kept going. I read it, adjusted, ignored it, and kept it moving. Do you have the neural pathway to do that? Let's just be honest. Could you in this situation or similar situation continue to focus on the results with that person coming, trying to distract you? Is your focus on the result neural pathway strong enough to endure? Or will a nice little 5-mile-an-hour wind coming from the southwest throw you off? Because that was, and trust me, I've had way more than that. But do you have it? Because do you realize how strong my neural pathway has to be for focus on the results for me to continue at first? And I don't know if I'm still staticky, but that's happening. I'm looking at the comments. I got to stay on task, make sure I'm finishing close to time. Now I'm over time. I know that. I recognize that. Do you have the ability to do it? Because the only way it can get strengthened is while you are focused on something, motherfuckers start fucking with you. That's the only way you're going to get stronger. You can't, I'm focused. Hey, I'm not focused no more. No, it has to keep happening. People have to keep distracting you, being in the way, obstacles and all kinds of things have to take place in order for you to know, can I still focus on my result? You're going to get thrown off your square a lot in order to get to your results. So if you can't handle that, then you got to keep doing things and let whatever happens come to you. And now you will know if you are focused on your results. If you have projects that you had and you abandoned them because, I was about to do that, but then I got divorced. Well, then, the grandkids came. Well, then, I had a baby. Well, then, we moved. Okay, cool. You full of shit. I done moved and everything. I done moved. I done switched jobs, all kind of stuff. Had health challenges, whatever. And that shit ain't stopped me. Nothing. I done almost died. We counted, I think, 8 times. Almost died 8 times. Where am I at? Still standing, still vertical, still doing shit, still doing bad mofo, being me. So absolutely not. I don't want to hear it. My tolerance, thank you, perimenopause. I got 0 tolerance for a bunch of shit, but I definitely don't have tolerance for people not using their brain. 0 negative 50% on you not using your brain. That's it. I don't, when people ask me anything else going forward, it's your brain. It's your brain. It's your brain. It's not my brain because I'm depressed. Okay, where are you depressed at? In your feet? No, up here. Well, no, it's not my brain. It's because I suffer from anxiety. Do you suffer from anxiety in your arms or your head? In your head. So you can say I suffer from anxiety, or you can start wiring some new neural pathways and not suffer from anxiety anymore, because that's happening up here in a different region of the brain. That's where it's happening at. But you can use it as an excuse so you don't have to use your brain. I'm dyslexic. We had Jasmine on here. Jessica is dyslexic. That ain't got shit to do with people with dyslexia know how to do shit. Richard Branson got dyslexia, and he a billionaire. So miss me with that bullshit. If you lazy, say you lazy. If you don't want to learn how to use your brain, go ahead and say that. But don't keep blaming other people for what you can and can't do. That shit's on you. That being said, thank you for your time. We got to get out of here and go to Sprouts and Sprouts and Whole Foods. I made another diet change, so we need to go and do that as well. Upgrade it some more to remove some things that are not good for me. I know you're like, how? Just some more shit. Gotta love perimenopause, I tell you. All the time. Jasmine, you are most welcome. My pleasure. So I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. If higher power God and the universe see fit, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. You all go off and have a magnificent Monday. Take care.